Welcome to the 19th episode of Season Tickets. I'm Michael.
I'm Max.
And this is going to be a different type of show with much more debates and much less games predictions because we want to have less games predictions and more debates so you can really hear our opinions on sports. And our first debate is going to be our college football top 4 playoff teams. Who do you think is in it at the end of the year, Max?
I'm going to go with Mississippi State, but with one loss. I think Alabama beats them, and Alabama wins out, and that puts Alabama in the playoff too. I'm going to go Florida State and Notre Dame. I think if Notre Dame beats Arizona State, they win out. And, with only loss being the Florida State, I think that's enough to get them in.
Yeah, and I'm going to disagree with you with Mississippi State. I think they lose to Alabama by a lot, and I think Alabama makes it in. I also think Florida State makes it in. There's no way they lose throughout the year. Their only hard game is against Miami and maybe Duke in the ACC championship. My third pick is going to be Oregon because they have a pretty soft schedule for the rest of the year. Then they have the Pac-12 championship game, which might be against Arizona State, but I think they win that game. And then the final team is going to be Baylor because they just put up too many points. I think Kansas State beats TCU, but then when Kansas State goes into Baylor, Baylor will win, and that's my top 4 playoff. The Cleveland Cavaliers made many off-season acquisitions, including the signings of LeBron James, and they also traded for Kevin Love, but they start off 1-3. Max, is it panic time if you're a Cleveland fan?
No. It's 4 games into the season. There's like 78 games left. They just need some time. So it's like a brand new team. There's no need to panic.
I know it's a brand new team, but losing to the Utah Jazz is unacceptable. 6 assists as a whole team.
Unacceptable teams are going to lose all the time to bad teams. That
Kyrie
happens in
Irving.
every sport.
Kyrie Irving, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 0 assists that game. That has to be a huge cause for concern if you're a Cavs fan because your point guard needs to be distributing the ball to guys like LeBron James, and right now he's not doing that. Do you think that Kyrie or Dion Waiters is the problem, or is it just time to mesh?
I think it's time to mesh.
And now we're going to go into our college football picks of the week. And in my upset of the week, I'm going to take Kentucky. They have a good offense led by a strong quarterback and running back play. And I think with Georgia overlooking this game, looking ahead to a game versus Auburn and at Kentucky, I think Kentucky can pull out an upset. What's your pick?
I'm going to go with Washington over UCLA. 2 pretty evenly matched teams for the most part, similar records. And at Washington, which is normally a hard place to play, I think Washington comes out with a big upset this week.
Baylor plays Oklahoma in a huge Big 12 game. I think Baylor is going to win this game with Bryce Petty lighting it up. Who do you have, Max?
I'm going to agree with you and go with Baylor this week.
Notre Dame plays Arizona State, and who do you have, Max?
Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame plays well in big games. They kind of got screwed out of the Florida State game, and Florida State is a better team than Arizona State, and I think Notre Dame comes out with a win.
I'm going to go with Arizona State. I think Taylor Kelly can light up the board, and being in Tempe, Arizona, I think that Arizona State can get the win. And now we're going to go into the Big 12, and Kansas State plays TCU in a huge game for the Big 12. Max, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Kansas State. I think Jake Waters, the quarterback, has been having a really good season. And I don't think TCU is that strong of a team, and I think Kansas State pulls it out.
I'm going to agree with you with Kansas State. I think they're just a better team. Their only loss is to Auburn in really a strange game. Their field goal missed a bunch of field goals. That was a close game, and I think the Kansas State defense can stop the TCU offense. What's the big game in the Big Ten, Max?
My Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Michigan State Spartans in Michigan State. Who are you going to go with, Mike?
I'm going to go with Michigan State. I think their defense can shut down J.T. Barrett and the offense of Ohio State, which has been running the ball really well, but I think Sparty can get it done. Who do you have?
I'm going to go with Michigan State. I'm a huge Ohio State fan, but after last week's showing against Penn State, the offense is way too predictable. And if Ohio State can start throwing the ball better or just have the offense not be as predictable every play, I think they can win. But I'm going to go with Michigan State.
Alabama plays LSU in a huge SEC West battle. Who do you have, Max?
I'm gonna go with Bama. They're on a roll right now. They've been playing well since the loss to Ole Miss, and I think they win this and break into the top 4 next week.
I'm going to agree with that pick of Alabama. I think that Amari Cooper is the best receiver in college football and is a Heisman pick to watch out for. And what's the big Pac-12 game?
Oregon plays Utah. Who do you have, Mike?
I'm going to go with Oregon. They're just too fast for Utah.
I'm going to go with Oregon, too. They've been playing well since the Arizona loss, and I think they win, and I don't think it's going to be that close. The Browns beat the Bengals on Thursday night. They dominated them 24-3. A great overall effort for the Browns, and they take first place in the division.
Yeah, that's a great feeling, and that will wrap it up for the 19th episode of Season Tickets. Make sure you come back next week as we preview all the big games in sports.